time and attention here today. So thank you to the Library District for being a great partner and for allowing us this opportunity to partner and to share information about digital technologies. And thank you to you for coming here today and for hearing this information. So who's teaching? My name is Jamal Abbott, and I am a IT guy. I'm a techie, and I've been doing this for the last 14 plus years. My first client was my grandmother. So full story there, my grandma was the first person that I helped out with setting up her technology. At the age of 7, about when I was living in California, I helped her out with her VCR the first time, and I got to set up her so young and the rest of us. So from there, I went on to do a career in the Air Force, as well as serve in the Department of Energy and the Department of Agriculture, all doing IT support and IT services. I've also shared my tech experience online, and I have over 16,000 views with that. My main website is thephoneguy.com, and I've also shared my experiences on Quora, which is a social site for question and answers, and then LinkedIn, which is a business website. And then what really got me interested in doing this type of class is because I learn best when somebody shows me how to do the steps from A to Z. So when I first joined the Air Force, this is back in 2004, I had an opportunity to serve at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And my first introduction to the Air Force, it like kind of blew my mind in the sense that I was overwhelmed with all the technology, with the fast pace that we had to do with serving our customers, and I didn't really have a good sense of what was going on. So I had to find that lead person, kind of latch onto him, and then really just follow him around until I figured out what I was supposed to do. And then since that time, I realized I learn best when I have a step-by-step instructions, and this class is really a manifestation of that, where I do step-by-step instructions on how to use your smartphone. And I'll go into a little more detail why we chose the smartphone, but that's my story in a nutshell, and we're going to move on with today's agenda. So we're going to learn more about digital learning, and then we're also going to learn about why digital learning is a problem with older adults. We'll talk about the solution, and then we'll talk about some common steps on being smartphone savvy, and then we'll open it up for some questions at the end. So just a quick definition of learning. So learning is the acquisition of knowledge and skills. So when we learn by doing, we learn by studying, we learn by getting our hands on that particular thing or that particular task. And when we do those things over and over again, we get lots of experience, and then we can do those activities without much thought. Now, I love that definition so much, so I want to add something else to this, and that digital learning is the acquisition of knowledge and skills and digital technologies. So we have to still gain experience, we still have to study, and we still have to apply what we learn in order for this stuff to stick. And as we transition here, so these are some of the things that we used to do back in the day. I mean, raise your hand if you remember using an alarm clock to actually wake up and get up in the morning. Some of us may still actually do that. And then the yellow pages. I think it's funny that I still get the yellow pages delivered to my house. I have no idea why. I don't have any use for it today, but I still get them. And then even a map. So on the way over here, this is a little bit farther away from my house, the Centennials Hills Library. I actually use the GPS to actually get here. So I don't know where to find a map at in my possession today. But these are all technologies that have been replaced by the smartphone. There was one point in time where we actually used to call the operator to get information. Now we're calling Google. Or now we're asking Siri. Or now we're asking Alexa, to get us the information that we're used to getting now. Why is digital learning important? It touches all aspects of our lives. We have financial information that depends on digital technologies. We're connected socially through digital technologies. And then some of our political environment is definitely connected with the digital technologies that we have here today. So connection is really a big thing with digital technologies. This is an example here of my wife and then some family members back in California. So when we were living out here in Las Vegas, we kind of lost that connection with our family because they were separated by miles away. So why not take advantage of the technologies that ahead of us and then jump on a laptop and get on a Skype call or to do some FaceTime on your iPhone. So the digital technologies have been wonderful to allow us to still stay connected without feeling disconnected in the process. These digital technologies also give us a better quality of life. So for instance, if you don't have a car and you want to get to places, you don't have to worry about that today because you can call an Uber, you can call Lyft, or maybe you might want to call that relative and say, hey, come pick me up. But the digital technologies is the one way that we can improve our quality of life. And what I find interesting too is that some people still don't think that digital technologies are relevant for them. I actually had a conversation at Subway a couple months ago, and the point of sale machine or the cash register went down, and that was tied to the internet. So we're just kind of making jokes and kind of laughing at, we have to pay with cash so I can actually buy a sandwich. But the one thing that the sandwich guy was telling me was that, if we're not tapped into these technologies, if we don't know what's going on here, we're going to be completely disconnected from the rest of the world. But once again, it's still interesting because there was a survey done and they said that 34% of non-internet users did not go online because they didn't feel like this was relevant to their lives. And I beg to differ. There's not a place that we can go here today where there's not some form of technology that doesn't touch an aspect of our lives. But also at the same time too, we still have these products that are coming out to the market. Anything from the smart TVs, anything from an Alexa-powered device, or anything like Netflix. Raise your hand in here if you actually use Netflix to watch movies and TV shows. Yeah? Okay. Perfect. Favorite shows? Anybody want to share? Favorite Netflix show?
The Comanche Network.
Okay. Right on.
Just won the Golden Globes.
All right. So another survey, and this was done by Pew Research. They found that 34% of internet users aged 65 or older had little to no confidence in their abilities to use electronic devices and to perform online activities. And also another interesting statistic here, by 2016, about 1 in every 7 Americans reached the age of 65. So that's about 49 million people that reached that age. And if you take those two statistics together, we get about 16.7 million adults ages 65 and older that's going to be struggling with digital technologies. So this is obviously a problem if you're not familiar with these technologies. It's going to be a problem if you're being asked to fill out a job application, if you're trying to get into the workforce but you don't know how to use a computer. It's going to be a problem if you're still trying to get that same job, you don't have internet access, and you're struggling to get connected to the library Wi-Fi. So we need to do something about that. So it is a big deal. And this quote, this is something that I love here, and this is by Alvin Tolford. It says, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So we have to learn, we have to stay vigilant, and we have to. So I talked about that survey again, and this is another statement that really struck me here. So it says about 48% of older adults identify with the statement when they get electronic devices, they usually need some help to get it set up, or somebody needs to show them how to use it. So you may be wondering, you're walking into this classroom today, what am I really going to get from this? Confidence. That's the number one goal here for this class. You're going to get confidence so you can use these technologies to transform your life. Awareness. There's a lot of new and scams and just different ways to trick people here today, and we want to give you that awareness so that way you're not going to be taken advantage of using these technologies. And then also some practical skills here too. So who has an iPhone in here or who has an Android? Raise your hand if you have an Android phone in here. Okay. iPhone? Android? Smartphone? Apple? Samsung, okay, so Android, okay, got it. And then how comfortable are you with that phone?
Somewhat. I just learned how to send pictures.
Okay, all right. So you know how to do selfies now?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're good. Okay, good deal. That's an important skill too. Very practical today. So why learn about the smartphone? And that's the reason why I asked you this question. So 77% of Americans actually own a smartphone here today. So there's not going to be a person here today that you're not going to run into that doesn't have a smartphone. If you're one of the fortunate few, you might have two smartphones. This is one for work, and then this is one for the personal use. You also the thing too about the smartphone, there's a low barrier of entry. So anybody can literally pick up this phone and start kind of getting into this, and there's not a whole lot that you really need to do to get in the game. So you don't necessarily have to be in a particular place or in a particular space. You can pick up this phone and use this anywhere where you want to be. So now the real question is, are you all ready to get smartphone savvy? Oh, okay, I'm just checking. I just wanted to make sure that there's actually somebody in here today. All right, so since we're ready, we need to work on the FCCs. And we're not talking about the FCC with the government. We're actually talking about getting familiar, getting comfortable, and then getting confident. There's no shutdown related to this. This will continue to go on and on and on as we live. So when we get familiar, we are able to pick this device up and just know that we're able to do some of the basic functions. And after a while, when we do that, we're going to develop a level of comfortability. So I might ask you to do a particular task. You're like, you know what, I've done that before, not a problem. I'll go ahead and take that selfie and get that sent over here to you. And then after you've been doing that for a while, you're going to get to the point where you're so confident in your abilities, you're going to be able to teach a class where you're taking selfies and then showing everybody how to do that. So this pyramid shows that progression. And then at some point in time, you don't even have to think about it. You know how to do this. But this applies to all aspects of our life. Before we get, to a mastery skill level with anything, we're going to get familiar, we're going to get comfortable, and then we're going to get confident in our abilities with that task. Now, what affects your FCCs? One, being curious. So I don't think you would have never came to this class today if you weren't curious to learn about something to do with the digital technologies. And that's a good thing too. So when you get curious, that seed's planted into your mind, and then over time, as long as you continue to nurture that seed and pour the water on it, that seed's going to grow and it's going to transform into something else that you don't know what it's going to be. On the opposite side of this, though, negativity. Negativity will kill that little seed that you planted into the ground. So what does negativity look like? Negativity is, well, I'm not as smart as this person here, so I'm not going to try it. Forget it. Negativity also looks like, you know what? They've been doing this a lot longer than I have, so why even bother? There's no point. That's what's going to kill your FCCs. The practical things that we can do, though, to get your FCCs up, we're going to learn, which we're doing here today in this class. We're going to practice, meaning that we're going to take the steps to learn how to text, to learn how to take a selfie, to learn how to go onto the internet and to download a podcast. We're going to do all those things. And then we get to the point where we want to show. So we're going to show our friends, we're going to show our loved ones that we know what we're doing with this stuff. All right, so we're going to get into the basics now. This is the meat of the class here today. So I like to look at the smartphone into 4 different chunks. Those 4 different chunks are communication, information, entertainment, and services. All 4 of these categories come in the form of an app. And you might be asking yourself, maybe, what is an app? What truly is an app? So we're going to get to that here in just a moment. Okay, so I got another question for you. So if we look at the screen here, we have this symbol. Can anybody tell me what this symbol is, other than some squiggly lines and a period? Take a guess. It's not on the sheet either.
I guess if you're online.
Okay, online. Okay, that's good. Do you know what this is called?
Icon?
It's definitely an icon. Starts with a W. Y.
Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. There you go. Good, good. So this is Wi-Fi. This is the Wi-Fi connection. So if you're connected to the library's internet right now, you may have this icon on your phone, and this means that you're using this internet connection instead of your own private connection through your cell phone company. So good job, everyone. All right. So what about these connections? Anybody know what these symbols mean or what they are? So if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, and depending on what cell phone you have, you may see these little bars here, and these go up and down depending upon where you're at in the city or where you're at in the building. So these connections here, this is your data. So and it may look like one of these 4 or one of these 3 pictures here. So LTE, or let me back up real quick. Anybody heard of the term 4G at all? 4G? Do you know what that means at all? No? Okay. So 4G is 4th generation. So that's just the 4th generation of data connectivity that we have through the cell phone companies. So you may see that on your phone. You may also see this acronym, LTE. LTE stands for long-term evolution. And all that is just a fancy way of saying we're in the 4th generation of data connectivity for cell phones. So if you see any of these, you are definitely connected with like either Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile.
How would that be on your phone? Would that be on your phone?
It is. So if you're looking at your phone, let's go ahead and just kind of jump to that real quick since we're here. All right, so I'm going to open up my phone. If you're looking at the top portion of your phone, where the time and date's at, way, and I'm pointing up here, that's where you find your cellular data connectivity. Do you see that anywhere on your phone at all? So let me just take a peek at yours real quick. Okay, so there you go. So it's kind of hidden right there. It says 4G, and then you have the little bars right there next to it. So that's your power for your phone, the battery, and there's a little 4G. You can't really see because of this background,
Yeah.
but so that's your data connection right there.
Thank you.
And then did you find yours, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So you're connected.
Yes.
Or does it say 4G or what? 4G.
But it's
Oh,
been-
blinking. Okay. Good deal. All right. So there you go. So that's our cellular connection there. Let's jump back over here to this presentation. And then just another quick question. Do you know if you have like an unlimited data plan at all? Yeah?
We're on a family plan,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Might,
I don't think it's
okay. Might be, especially if you're sharing with other people. And if it's not unlimited, you may have like an X amount of like data to use every month. And then when that runs up, then you have to wait till like the next cycle to get your data again. Okay. All right, so we have another connection here. Does anybody know what this symbol is? Good, perfect. So do you use Bluetooth at all?
No.
No? Okay. Do you know what to use it for?
Well, I just turned it off because they said that you could get hacked or something.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
So that's why I know about it.
Okay.
But I don't use it.
That's good, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't need the connection, definitely turn it off. That's a good security practice. And how about yourself? Do you use Bluetooth at all? No? Okay. So I have a speaker here. And this is a Bluetooth speaker. So if I wanted to play some music for you all, I can connect my phone and have sounds come out of this little device. But it might be pretty useful. I mean, let's just pretend that we're at the park, we want to hang out, maybe we're barbecuing. We're in barbecue. No, okay, fine. So, but we're hanging out at the park, and I want to listen to some music. So I can turn the Bluetooth on my phone. As long as I'm connected to this device, I can get music to play on here, and we all can hear it. You don't have to depend upon this little speaker here on the phone. So let's just also say too that we're driving, and we know how crazy Las Vegas drivers are out here. You may see some of them here too on the phone, maybe texting or talking, and it's not a good look. What I can do, if your car has Bluetooth connectivity, you can actually pair your car with your phone, and then for your phone calls, you can actually use the car speakers to communicate. So that's another reason why you would use Bluetooth, with your smartphone. So just a connection and something to look into if you're interested in any of those examples I gave you. And then so this is another example of those icons in action. So we have Bluetooth down here, and that's that little bead-looking thing there. The Wi-Fi connection there. So that was my Wi-Fi connection at home, and this is the cell phone connection showing that I'm connected to the Sprint network. All right, so getting back to an application. So an app is application, and it's software that runs on your phone. So that software can be used for a specific function to solve a certain problem. So if you're bored, you may want to go on Netflix on your phone, so you launch the Netflix app. If you're hungry, you may want to launch the Uber Eats app and then order you a pizza that way. Or if you want to communicate and talk to somebody, you may want to launch the phone app and then make a phone call. And so how do you get apps? So just a quick show of hands, do we download apps? Are we familiar with that process at all? No? Okay. So since we have 2 Android phones here, you would go to the Play Store to download apps. If you have an iPhone, you're going to look for this icon here, and this is the App Store to where you can download apps. And this is what the stores look like. So you're brought to a main screen, and then you can either choose some of the apps that are popular, or you can search for one of the apps. And I have some circles in red here. You can search for the apps either by typing it in, or by using your microphone to actually speak the app into, or speak the name of the app into the search. So let's do a quick exercise here. I want you all to find the App Store on your phone. I'm going to do this here with you too. So do we know where the app drawer is on your phone? Okay. You know where the app drawer is? It's where you can see all the apps plugged in on your phone?
App drawer, it's an app drawer.
No problem. So it may look like this, where it says apps. It all depends on your phone. Okay, so you're in there. So you found the Play Store. That's good. And then you found the Play Store of yours. Okay. So if you swipe either left or right, you should be able to find the Play Store. Let's swipe one more time the other way. Yeah, can you go that way? That's it? Okay. Let's click that one that says Google. And I think it's the Play Store of yours here. So if you push your home button on yours, maybe it might be on the front of your screen. It's a possibility too. Oh, I don't see that here. We'll have to do some more searching on that one. So if you open up the App Store, and like I said, I'll work with you on this one here so you can see on mine. So I want you to find Snapchat. Snapchat. So that's spelled SNAPCHAT. Snapchat. And then I'm going to get connected here myself. Sorry?
Maybe you need to search it.
Yeah. So you see the search bar at the very top? It may say Google. So if you're looking here at the screen, I'm gonna go to the Play Store, and then it says Google Play at the very top.
Yes.
So if you push that here, and I have Snapchat typed up there. So you type that in there,
Oh, yes.
and then you click the magnifying glass to search.
Yeah.
And saying go internet connection. And let's retry. So I happen to have Snapchat on my phone, but it should pop up with this yellow icon
Yes.
showing you Snapchat. And if you want to install it, you'll push the green button to install the application on your phone. So let me just go back here real quick. I'm going to show you another example. So let's take a look. We're going to look for Uber. So Uber, UBER, and we're going to do a search. And so this should bring it up, and then you have more information about what this app is all about. Were you able to find it? Okay, perfect. So I want to highlight a couple things here real quick. If you want more info here, the bottom left, more info, and it's going to tell you just a little bit more detail about the application. So it's going to tell you how many reviews it has, how many times it's been downloaded, and then who this app is for. So if I want to see the reviews, I can scroll, and then I can see what this app is all about. So some of the top features, hey, 87% of people like rating their drivers, they like getting the commute alerts, and they like to be able to access their favorites. And you can see the reviews here on what Uber is all about. And then if you want to install, push that button to install, and then it's going to download, and it's going to jump to your phone. So that's what downloading an app looks like. And while that's doing that in the background, let's go ahead and jump over here to the next slide. So apps, how much do these apps cost? Anywhere from free to over $100. Most people like to jump on the free apps, but then also understand too, with the free apps, they may have some other features or some other functionality that you may want that you have to pay for. So they'll give you an opportunity to pay for that within the app itself. But there's tons of free apps out there, and there's plenty of them to choose from. All right, so social media. How many here are using social media of any type? No? Social media? No? Okay. Have we heard of any of these social networks here? So Facebook?
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube? Okay, perfect.
Oh, yeah, YouTube.
YouTube, okay. Twitter? Heard of that? How's it going?
We're sorry we're late, we got lost.
It's okay. It's okay. You're just in time. So, okay, so YouTube, watching videos.
Pinterest.
Pinterest, you've heard of that? Okay, perfect. All right, so this is very, very interesting here because a lot of the world is communicating today through social media. So back in the old days, we used to pick up the phone and talk. You know, if I wanted to talk to my brother, pick it up and say, hey, how you doing? Now these days, if I call my brother, he's gonna be like, hey, what's wrong? Is there an emergency? Why are you calling me today? And he might text me back too, like, what are you doing, man? But no, so social media is great for connecting and to see and understand what's going on in the world. And so let me ask this question real quick. So how come you're not on social media, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, privacy.
Privacy, okay. That's a big one. And then for you, ma'am?
My life is interesting enough.
Okay.
I don't feel like I want to get, it's just very distracting, and my life is rich enough that I don't need the distraction. It's just too much. And privacy, that's another one. I feel like if you're my friend, I want to hear your voice.
Yes.
You know, and if you're not my friend, I don't really care.
Right.
You know, so like to me that's really shallow communication.
Okay.
And I'm just not interested. I'm interested in substantive relationships at this point in my life.
Good.
Because I'm retired, you know, I don't have to network, I don't have to, you know, so I'm just interested in more substantive relationships.
Okay.
And if it's shallow, like, you know, hearing from people that that never called me,
Mhm.
like, why would I be interested in them?
Right.
It's like, to me, it's a waste of time.
Okay.
And the older I get, the more my time is precious.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And valuable.
You value your
You know, I
time.
want to use my time a little bit more in a discerning way.
Good. Okay. That's good. So for our new students in the back, so I remember you mentioned you were terrified of social media. Has that changed since we've last had this conversation?
You talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
No, it hasn't changed.
Okay.
You're very good.
All right. So no problem. And then, ma'am, how about you in the back? Social media at all?
I have an account on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't update it. It just has my general information. I may go on Well, sometimes if Facebook sends me an email,
Okay.
saying, you know, somebody made a post or something, I may go on there and look at some of the posts. But I have a brother-in-law and sister-in-law who post 5 times a day. To me, you know, that's pushing it. And they do a lot of religious things and a lot of, they're pro-life, and so it's too much for me. I
Right.
do like to see the posts from some of the children of my friends, and they post pictures of their kids and stuff, and I make comments.
Okay.
I started Instagram. I have some friends on it, but I don't really post. I'll look at their posts.
Right.
And LinkedIn, I do have an account, but I don't work, as you said, and I don't post.
Okay, no problem.
But I do look. Once in a while I'll look.
Right. So just kind of looking on the sidelines.
Right,
from
being on the sidelines and
Yeah.
looking and making comments, a cute picture or something, or like, but
Right.
that's it.
Okay, no problem. That's perfect. So, I was once there too. I remember I got a Facebook page probably about 10 years ago, and I just wanted to see what the fuss was all about. I wasn't sure. It was starting to become mainstream, and before that there was MySpace, and spent a lot of time on there trying to customize the page, and then that wasn't cool, and everybody went over to Facebook. So one of the cool things about Facebook, it could be bad things too, depending on your perspective, but one of the cool things about Facebook and some of these other social media sites is that you're able to see what's going on with the people that matter to you. So it could be your friends and family, it could be, maybe a neighbor that moved away from your city and you lost touch with them and you found them on Facebook or on Instagram. You're able to stay connected, and you're able to kind of see what's going on with them. And sometimes you can even have that dialogue, that connection with them using social media. So that's definitely possible. It can get a little excessive, especially if you have that person that's posting about, hey, I'm making eggs today. Like, dude, nobody cares that you're making eggs. I mean,
Or a picture of their lunch.
yeah, it's like not a big deal. Like, I have the same thing, and my stuff actually looks a lot better than yours that you're posting. But this is a platform that you can choose to participate in, and like I've said before, there's no pressure to join any one of these things. But if you're interested in any of this, there's a lot of activity going on here. So, for instance, with Twitter, I like going on Twitter to see what's going on in the news. And sometimes with the news, you can kind of get information from certain biased sources. So if you turn on to this one channel, you may see a lot of information with a certain viewpoint, and maybe you don't want to necessarily hear that. You turn on to another channel, and then maybe they have some of your, preferences or beliefs or things that you're interested in, but it's still a one-sided thing. When you go on to these social media sites, though, you have the ability to choose the voices that you want to hear from. So if you're passionate about caring for animals, you might find an animal expert out here that's sharing his knowledge with everybody, and you may want to tune into that and to receive his information or her information. There might be somebody out there that does cooking, and then you're interested in omelets because your friend on Facebook keeps putting up these bad pictures of omelets, and you're like, look, I'm tired of this, I need to find me an omelet expert. So you go find that omelet expert on YouTube, you start following him, and he actually learned a thing or two about making omelets the right way. So you can find those experts out there on these social media sites. So, man, maybe that omelet expert lives in Spain. It'd be kind of hard to get to Spain from Las Vegas, not unless you have like a vacation house in Spain.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. But so this allows you to get there a lot quicker instead of us actually being there in person. So let me move on here to Twitter, because I just want to show you what this looks like from my point of view at least. So Twitter is it's an app that allows you to do short messages in 280 characters. So brevity as far as messages goes. So this is something I tweeted about. So a tweet is basically like a status update. So you basically want to announce something. So I tweeted here on the 19th, and the library had posted this update about in the month of January, they're encouraging parents to bring their kids in here to the library and to sign up for the program, 1,000 books before kindergarten. So I'm like, hey, I've done this before. So let me go ahead and share my experience just because I think I might be able to add some value to this discussion. So I had talked about how I started this program for my 4-year-old. He's now 9. But I talked about how I did this for my 4-year-old. And then for a year, we read books every single day. Sometimes we read more than 3 books in a day. Sometimes we only read 1 book. But we did it for a year. I just wanted to see what it was like. So I shared my experience here. And I talked about now him being in the 4th grade. He's doing real well in school. And I wanted anybody to know that if you're thinking about doing this program, do it. This is an investment that's worth putting into your child. And then I put this on my timeline for all of my followers to know. And then I got a response from the library, so the same library district that we're talking about and that we're visiting. They said, you know what, that's incredible. You know, thank you for sharing your experience. And then I had some other folks who, trying to see here. So at the very, very top, there's a number 2 up there that says retweet. So that means that somebody saw your message and they basically retweeted it or shared that with their following. And then there's other people that said that they liked that particular post. So the library said, you know what, thank you for sharing your experiences. And I had that conversation with them saying, you know, I appreciate the opportunity to participate. Yes, ma'am.
How did they find you?
They found me because I mentioned, or because this is a post that the library sent out, and so I took this message and then I shared that with
everybody. Posted on the library site.
I posted it on my own timeline. So on my own account, I said, you know what, I want to say something about this.
Right.
I shared that with my following, and anytime you share a tweet like that, whoever originates that tweet, they'll get a notification stating that, hey, somebody retweeted your post, or somebody liked your post, or somebody commented on whatever you posted. So just an opportunity to participate in this dialogue, and then maybe somebody out there may be inspired to actually do this. Maybe they're on the fence about participating in this program for their child, but maybe they were inspired by this post. I have no idea, I won't know, but as long as you put yourself out there and then say your piece, you could affect somebody and change their mind about this particular subject.
So that, okay, you posted it on your timeline. How did it get it got to the library? So was the library one of your?
So the library is somebody that is an account that I follow.
Okay, the company.
Yeah, and then anytime that you either like, retweet, or comment on somebody's Twitter account, they will get a notification. So they'll get something on their phone, or they get something sent to them via email stating that, you know, Jamal Abbott has commented on your post, or Jamal Abbott has shared this post that you put out there. But this is really the platform where we can have a two-way dialogue out in the public forum. Now, if you don't want to do that, we can have a private dialogue between ourselves. We can send messages to one another. Or if I didn't want to put myself out there, I can make my account private and then still have that conversation and dialogue with people that I care about, but without having the whole world to see. Does that make sense?
It's like email.
Exactly. Yeah, go ahead.
So how would you get on Twitter? How would you do that?
How do we do that? Okay, good question.
What's the question?
How do we get on Twitter? Okay, so let's do this real quick. We would first need to have the application on our phone. So I'm just going to do a quick search for Twitter. Pull that up. So Twitter's on my screen now.
Okay. do you get it on your screen? That's my question.
Yeah, and we still have to figure out yours because I don't know where your Play Store is at. But so
So could I not have a Play Store?
you should have one, but we'll have to figure out why it's not there. But we're going to pretend that you have one. We go to the Play Store, we look for Twitter, we install the application, and then once we install the application, we're able to actually launch this and go into our accounts. So when you sign up for a Twitter account, you have the opportunity to pick your name. So this is me, Jamal Abbott, and then this little @ and then this name here, this is my username on Twitter. And then you can put a little biography about who you are, and then you can say where you live at, and then provide a website if you want to. So you have this opportunity to do this all when you sign up for the account initially. Then over time, you may want to announce to people, hey, I have a Twitter account. What's your Twitter information? What's your Twitter handle so we can stay connected? And you might be like, hey, my name is, Mary123. So find me at Mary123. Okay. And so if I want to find you on Twitter, I can go to search, and then I would look for the person named Mary. So I won't do that right now, but so I would say Mary123, find you, and then I would try to follow your account from there. And then once I follow your account, you'll get a notification stating that Jamal Abbott has now followed you. And then you have the opportunity either to follow back because you're interested in some of the things that I'm talking about, or we just might be close friends and we want to have a conversation over Twitter. So, that's how you do it in a nutshell. And it makes more sense once you actually go through the process of downloading the app and then getting it installed and then kind of playing with it. And so when I first signed up for my Twitter account, I had this thing for the longest time and I would not post anything. I followed the Lakers. I followed what was going on with the news. I followed what was going on in Las Vegas, and that's all I wanted to do, really. Then over time, I got the courage to say, you know what? I want to tweet. I want to see what's going on out there. I want to see if this stuff actually works. And then once I started taking those baby steps, that's when I realized there was opportunities to really get involved in the community that I would have never seen before. So I'm going to show you another Twitter page here, just as an example. So I'm going to go to the LECCLD page. So I'm going to click their account. Now I love this Twitter page because they announce so much good information here, and they talk about what's going on in the library in real time. So instead of waiting for that email, you can see, hey, what's the library got going on here today? Or maybe what are they talking about? And what we're looking at right now is this thing called a timeline. So this is like in chronological order, and you can see what they're talking about. So this very first one here at the very top, they have this one saved, and they're talking about a winter reading challenge. So if I want more information about that, I can click on this link, and it's going to take me to the website where they discuss information about the library. But we're gonna scroll down here some more. Okay. So there's a couple things I want to point out here. You see this blue logo here. This is the library. This is their profile picture. And then this is the full library name. And then this is part of the tweet. So now they're saying, look, you should get a library card. When you get carded, you get to do some cool things. You get classes. You can sign up for movies. You can do all sorts of neat things. And then I can go here and I can click this, I can like it, and then I'll do this just because we're in class right now. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet this. So now that I retweeted it, you see it's green up there. I can go back to my own account. I'm gonna refresh this page. And now you see here that tweet that I initially saw on the library page, it's now on my timeline, and I've shared this now with the 776 followers that are following my account right now. So like I said, it's just an opportunity to see what's going on, and you can see through here more of just what's going on at the library. And that doesn't fill me up as a person. I need a little bit more substance. I love learning, so I'm gonna try to find the accounts that's gonna teach me something. And then maybe I might be able to take that and share that with maybe you all in this class about what I've learned. So that's the reason why I'm on social media, is to learn and not necessarily to debate or to get in fights and arguments like that. All right. So WhatsApp. I wanted to share this app, and then what was your name again, ma'am?
Rosalind.
Rosalind?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to share WhatsApp because Rosalind had asked this in the last class. So she said, you know what, can we do an overview on WhatsApp? I said, you know what, sure, let's do this. So WhatsApp is another communication platform. And remember what we talked about earlier, that our apps are going to be in the communication, the information, the entertainment, or services. This is one that serves in the communication space. And what I love about WhatsApp is that it allows you to do just these basic things. And there's a little bit more that you can do to it too. So messaging. So if I wanted to send a message to my partner in crime back here in the back, I can use WhatsApp to send her a message. Now if I want to do...
Why wouldn't you just text her?
Yeah.
Okay, so good question. Well, let's just say that Anita here in the back lives in South America, and I have no way of texting her. What am I going to do if I want that instant message? Now, we can do email. It's an option, but it's not immediate. So one way we can do that is by jumping on an app that we both can get on at the same time. And let's just say that Anita in South America has a ridiculous plan where she gets charged $1 for every text message that she sends. And she says, you know what, Jamal, I am not going to text you. Do not send me text either, because I'm going to send you this bill when it comes in the mail. Don't text me. I am not playing with you, boys. She said, you know what, I have a better solution for you. I have this thing called WhatsApp. I'm like, WhatsApp? What's up with that? WhatsApp. Oh, okay, WhatsApp. Okay, I get it. So I look into this, and I find out that I can message Anita in South America while I'm here in America. And there's no fee for that. And then how that works is because the messages go over the internet. Now before you get concerned about your messages going over the internet, this message that's being sent between me and Anita in South America, it's sent over a secure connection. So there's this thing called encryption, and anytime that we have a conversation on WhatsApp or any of these other applications that employ encryption, the messages between one another are secure. So we can have that phone call, we can have that video chat, and then nobody can go in there and then look to see what we're talking about because it's a secure connection. So actually, if they were able to intercept our message, it's going to look like a bunch of random characters. They won't know that we're actually talking about her bill for $1 text messages. So messaging, video calls, voice calls, group chat, and then encryption. So WhatsApp is really popular in some of these other countries. So it's in over 180 countries. Over 1.5 billion users actually use WhatsApp. So that's more than Facebook users worldwide. And then 60 billion messages are sent per day using WhatsApp. That's crazy. Because of this, we have an issue with some of the cell phone companies. They're actually losing money because people aren't texting and they're not calling using these services. They're actually using these applications on the internet to bypass all that because it's a lot cheaper, it's more efficient, and then you get better quality and features that you wouldn't get from your normal cell phone plan. So this is a screenshot of my family. So I have my cousin in the upper left. She's in, I think, somewhere in the Burbank, California area. I have two cousins down here that are in Central California, and me in Las Vegas. So this was on Christmas Day. So we wanted to use WhatsApp to say what's up with one another. And then we jumped on the video call. It was pretty smooth, it was pretty clear. And the neat thing about it was that even though I couldn't be with these folks, during the holidays, I felt like I was still right there with them because I could see them. So that's what I like about WhatsApp. And this isn't the only application that does this type of thing, but it's neat knowing that this is out there and I can connect with my loved ones over this type of technology. Oh, the other thing I want to mention here too is that these two young ladies here had iPhones, and I have the Android phone or the Samsung phone. So in that world of Apple, the only time or the only way you can talk to other Apple phones is through this technology called FaceTime. But if you're using an app like WhatsApp, it doesn't care if you're an Android phone or if you have a Samsung phone or another type of phone. It doesn't care. As long as you're on WhatsApp or Skype or some of these other services, you're able to communicate and see one another
How much
using
does
this
it
platform.
cost?
Good question. Take a guess.
Free.
Free 99.
How much?
Free 99. Free. It's free.
How do you get on it?
So the same place that we're looking at that you can need to find on your phone is through the Play Store.
But why can't I get on it?
We're gonna if you can stick around after the library session is over, you can stick around and take a look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I
Yes,
have the
ma'am.
same problem. I don't have a icon or an app. Here it says games and apps, but
What type of phone do you have?
it's an LG, it's an old.
Okay, we'll take a look at that too.
Okay, so I just need to know how to deal with installing apps on the phone.
Yeah, no problem. We got you covered.
I have an icon that says apps.
Yeah. Okay. So there's Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It just says apps, but it just goes to all these apps, but I don't know how, but I tried to, it says search phone on the top, but it won't take me anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, so there's another app store that's not really all that popular, and that comes from like the cell phone manufacturers themselves. So Samsung may have an app store, but it's not as popular as this. This is where all the action's happening in the Google Play Store. LG may have an app store, and sometimes they actually push like the paid apps. And it's like, well, this app isn't as cool as WhatsApp, or it's not as cool as Twitter, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that. But most of the apps you'll find in the Play Store, and then we'll look to see what's going on with yours. Yes.
How do you add somebody to your app, to the app?
For WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to have their information saved into your phone, so into your contacts.
Yes.
And once they're saved into your contacts, then that other person, so you save them, and then you add that person into your WhatsApp contacts. So let me see if I can kind of do that here real quick. Let me let's jump to that real quick. All right. WhatsApp. Okay. So there's this menu here in the upper right hand corner, these three dots. That's, you open that up, and then, oops, I'm sorry, let me go back. This app is a little different. So this green button at the very bottom, you're gonna click on that.
Which green button?
On the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom, it looks like a little green text
No.
message. You'll push that, and it may look different on here, but we can take a look at that a little bit later. But you'll push that, and then you see there's an option here for new contact. And then if you push that new contact, then you can add that person to your account. So let's just say that Anita, we exchange information, I type in her information here and then save it, she'll pop up on WhatsApp. But let me go ahead and cancel this. Let's just say that there's somebody here, so we'll just pick on Brian because he's right here. So I'll click on Brian, and then I can view the contact, and I can send him a message from there. So if they're in your phone and they're on this list, then these are people that are available on WhatsApp and you can actually communicate with them. But if they're not saved into your phone, you'll have to add them to your phone, save it, and then their information is going to pop up, and then you'll be able to have a conversation with them on WhatsApp. Does that make sense?
No.
No.
I've got the information in my call log on my phone. Okay, so,
Person, I don't know what their name was, but you
yes.
see that person's name on there?
No, I disappeared. Okay, yes, you-
And you can tell Jackie too, like, look, hey, we just learned about this, go here. I'm just kidding. But no, you tell her to download the app.
and then I'll be able to contact you.
Exactly.
And
Thank you.
sign up.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how that works. Perfect. Okay. Let me go back. All right. So any more questions on WhatsApp? Nope. Pretty straightforward.
Well, that's what I want to know, how to add somebody on WhatsApp, but unless they're on WhatsApp, or they've got the application, we can't do it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there has to be a two-way like relationship with the app. So as long as you're on the app and that other person's on the app, you can communicate with them. But if they're not on
He needs to be
there,
on the app. Okay.
right. And so just think about it like this here too, like with the cell phone, right? So I have a cell phone. I have a phone number assigned to this. As long as Anita has a cell phone and a number, I can call her. But if she has no cell phone and a number, I can't call her.
Right.
You have to be on the same system.
Okay,
So same thing with WhatsApp. We have to be on the same system in order to talk to one another.
okay, so now I understand, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so we talked about text messages here real quick. And I wanted to show you this example because I thought this was pretty neat. So I had a text message sent to me here just the other day saying, hey, you got a prescription that needs to be picked up. And it gave me a website and then a phone number to go to get more information about my order. And they also sent me another text message here saying, hey, if you want to skip the line, you know, use this link here and prepay and then go up to the front of the prescription counter and get your stuff. So with prescriptions, the one thing I want to highlight here is the fact that, you know, if you're getting prescriptions or if you're getting appointments set up with the doctor or the dentist, you can subscribe to text message updates from those individuals. And then when you do that, so let's say that you have an appointment or that prescription that needs to be that needs to come up, instead of you calling and saying, hey, when's my stuff going to be ready? They'll send you a message saying, time to pick up. So I click this link. So this little blue link here, it's HTTPS, and that information there. I click that, and then it took me to a web page. Now I have some of this information blurred out because it's my business. But so it told me, hey, look, your prescription's ready for pickup. It's in Las Vegas. The store is going to close at 9 p.m. So you might want to get here before this time. And then the neat thing that I saw here is that it told me how much my prescription was with the insurance, and then who the doctor was, and what the dosage was. And it told me once again that it was ready to pick up at this Walgreens location in Las Vegas. So the neat thing about that is that I don't have to call. This information is presented to me on my phone. I click on the link in this text message. It takes me to the internet, and it tells me that prescription information. So I did all that from my phone. In the last session, we had talked, and then we kind of learned that some folks actually did not actually go on the internet on their phone. So this might be like a good use case scenario where you might want to go onto the internet to check the status of your prescription or to check the status of your dentist appointment.
Okay, so now you've got this, how do you actually pay them before you get there?
So, yeah, so with this, let's just kind of go back here real quick. If I were to click this link down here,
Yes.
it would have took me to a web page to where I can enter in my payment information
Oh, okay.
through Walgreens.com. The other thing to say here too about paying online, you want to make sure that it's the place that it actually is. So we went to this link and then it said something weird like, you know, Walgreens, or, you know, it just didn't look right. We don't want to enter in our information into foreign looking websites, because that's one way that we can get our card information compromised, and we may have some other problems there. So this HTTPS, if you ever see this, this tells you that this is a secure connection that you can go to on the internet. And then usually for financial transactions, that's what's required for a secure connection between yourself and the entity that you're getting ready to pay online for. So just want to kind of highlight that one. Because, this probably makes more sense when you actually go through the process. I don't actually have it to where I actually paid online, but I did pay this when I went to Walgreens to pick up the prescription. So this is just a kind of example of getting a text message, and then that text message giving you more information to get something of value for yourself. So internet, again, we have Chrome, and then we have the internet on the phone. And then quick show of hands again, who uses the internet on their phone?
No, I'll be sure.
No, I want to learn.
Okay, internet?
Well, yeah, I don't know what's the difference.
They're the same thing. This one right here is from Google. And this one here might be Samsung, LG, whoever makes cell phones. They do the same thing. They basically they take you to the internet and they allow you to connect and to see what's going on out there on the internet. So these two, it may look like these two things on the internet. And let me see what I have for my next slide here. Okay, so let's do another quick exercise here, just so we get familiar with looking at things on the internet. So I happen to go on the internet, and let's do this again. All right. So I'm going to the internet, and I kind of did that fast here. Go to Google, and I'll retrace my steps here. Okay. So on my phone, I have Google Chrome down here at the bottom. If it's not down here, it may be in your app drawer. So once again, do we see anything that looks like this on your phone? Quick show of hands. Okay, you found that? Some phones may actually have to swipe up from the bottom to actually open up the app drawer. So I'm going to push the apps, and then it pulls up my app drawer right now. And then I have this purple icon here for the internet, here. So that's one way for me to get to the internet. Or I have Chrome right here, so that's another way to get to the internet. So do we see any one of these two icons on our phone? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so two there, no for you, and then how about you? You good? Okay. So let me just take a quick trip to the back, and then who has Chrome on their phone? Okay, okay. And so let's go ahead and click that. It's funny because I actually hit the other one. And I'm going to come to the back real quick for you, and we're going to take a look at what you got going on here. All right. Okay, I see.
You're right there.
Looks like it. Okay. Let's go back. Browser. Okay, yours says browser.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is a this is a little bit older,
Right.
but it's connected to the internet right now, and it's going to load up something.
So browser is on my phone.
Yeah. So
So
browser.
that's in lieu of instead of Chrome, but what about for the Play Store, Google Play Store? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. And I think it all has to do with the model of phone you have. Yeah. So there's
My
different.
husband took my phone.
He took your phone.
Yes, because I wasn't using it, and it was bigger. You know.
How dare him?
I know, it's a nerve.
Okay. So now you can tell him that you're savvy now and you want your phone back.
That's
Okay, so we're here at the internet, and I want us to find a website. Actually, do we have Google? Is Google the first thing that pops up on our browser, or do we have something else? Google? Google, okay. And then you went from
It's
mail?
going straight to a site here. I didn't. Because I pressed on the Chrome,
Mhm.
and then up comes pictures of a website.
Oh, okay.
All I did was press from.
Okay, it takes you to the last, probably the last website that you're at.
Oh, I see, so what do I do to get out of there?
Okay, so we're gonna do this together. Good. So Las Vegas weather just kind of gives you a quick update of what's going on here. And the one cool thing about the weather, you can click on any one of these little icons here, and it gives you the weather forecast for the upcoming days. And then if I want to see weather for a specific time, I can click this little slider here, and if I want to go to 7 p.m., and it's going to tell me that the weather is 51 degrees. And for you in the back with the older smartphone, it's going to be a little bit different on yours, only because that doesn't look like it's an Android smartphone. So it's going to be different with the features and functionality. And if I scroll down here, I can see that there's weather.com. I might want to go there and get some more detailed information about the weather. And then it gives me another view of the forecast. So this is how we're browsing the internet. We're just kind of searching for information. We're asking ourselves, okay, I wonder what the weather is. We type our thoughts into the box up at the top, and that's going to get us to the place that we need to go to. And then I'll just show you real quick here what the other browser looks like. Just like if we wanted to use the internet browser that comes with our phone instead of Chrome. So the purple icon up there where it says internet, I'm going to push that. It says browser on your phone at the back. I'm just going to push that. And it takes me to this homepage here, and it's telling me information about, looks like there's an advertisement here. So if I want to go to Google, I go to the top here, and on this one, it actually popped up a couple of shortcuts here. So we have something for Google, something for Facebook, Amazon. Those are like bookmarks that come preloaded on the phone itself. And let's just say that I did want to go to Target. I can click on that icon that says Target up here, or I can go up here towards the top and then type in Target.com if I wanted to. So I'm just going to do that just as an example. Target.com. And then I'm going to click go. And then it's going to take me to Target, and it tells me that, oh, there's a sale today. All right, so after this, I'm about to go to Target and hit me up some Champion Activewear. So, but you can see here, we're just kind of browsing through the internet, and then we're seeing what Target has for sale. So that's the internet in a nutshell. Any questions about that? What we've done so far? I know that was kind of a real quick overview of the internet. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on. Go ahead.
I can't get rid of this stuff on the, I mean, so I press on phone, and it, I can't get rid of this, it's
Okay.
only to Google.
Okay, so if you tap that at the top, and then you just type in Google, GOOGLE.com. Go back one more.
Oh,
Yeah. And then see all that.
I see,
Yeah. You all get just random phone calls from, I mean, it's all over the place. I think last year the number was like over like 40 million spam phone calls were sent to phones in the United States. It's getting ridiculous. So I have a couple of tips here. Don't answer numbers that you don't recognize. If it's not in your contacts, if it's not a number that you don't know, just let voicemail answer it. And so that way you're not even bothered with that type of phone call. Another thing too, if you happen to answer the phone and then they're asking a bunch of weird questions, don't give sensitive information to strangers. And then another thing here too is don't answer calls asking to press 1 or 2 on your phone. So I want to show you just a quick example, and we're getting ready to wrap up here. A quick example of what a spam call sounds like. And this was crazy because they were saying like I did something wrong. But I knew I didn't do anything wrong because I didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna play this voicemail here for you real quick. And let me see if I can crank up the volume here. All right, so let's take a listen.
Expired in the next 24 working hours, and once again expired after that. Meaning the completed by the federal officers, as there are 4 serious allegations left on her name at this moment. We would request you to get back to us so that we can discuss about this case before taking any legal action against you. The number to reach us is 419-464-9025. I repeat, 419-464-9025. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the voicemail I got. So I knew there was a couple things wrong. Like I said, I knew I didn't do anything wrong. The other thing too, the number came from Ohio. I'm like, I don't know anybody that lives in Ohio, at least not today. And then they left me that voicemail saying that, you know, hey, call this number back so we can discuss your case. Complete scam. Don't fall for that type of stuff. But I mean, they're trying to get you to answer the phone. They're going to try to scare you into calling them back, and then they're going to try to scam you along the way. So you got to be vigilant because those type of calls are out there. They get really sophisticated with that. The other thing I was kind of pondering too with this is that if they're not in your contacts and you're concerned about these phone calls becoming more and more apparent, you may want to download an application like WhatsApp. And if they're on your WhatsApp list, maybe you send phone calls that way with individuals, so that way you're not worried about if this person's actually legit or not. So just something to keep in mind. The cell phone companies too are putting measures in place, but it's a little slow, at least in my opinion. But they are putting measures in place to say, okay, this is a verified number, it's safe to enter this number. Or they may have a database stating that these are known numbers for spamming individuals and they're not actual legitimate phone numbers. So just keep that in mind, just be vigilant, and don't answer phone calls if you don't recognize the number. So with that being said, we're getting ready to wrap up here. So we covered a lot. I really appreciate you all's time and attention here. We did cover definition of digital learning, the problems that we have with digital learning in older adults, the solution, which you were all a part of in this classroom. And then we had a couple tasks that we went through about being savvy with a smartphone. Then I want to just remind you all, if you are interested in learning more about this, we have the next class here at the Windmill Library in February. Windmill Library, so February the 16th at 11 a.m. So that's the next class. We'll cover some more information there if you all are interested. And then just some more information about the survey data that was used. So this is all from Pew Research, and they do a wonderful job of doing a lot of research about the problems that are going on with technology and its adoption. And then finally, I did want you to know that we do have a Q&A line. So if you have any questions that come up during the week or during the month, and you want this answered in the next session, call this number, and then you can leave a message, and then we'll get this included in the next class if something comes up. So once again, my name is Jamal Evans, and this is my contact information. So I won't expect you all to be on social media because we're not there yet, we're not comfortable yet. But if we decide to get out on there one day, you can find me on one of these platforms, and then there's my email address there if you want to reach out to me. So I do want to open this up for some questions, and I know that we have a question in the back about internet on the phone and the apps. If you still have some time for email, we can figure out why apps aren't showing up on your phone. But I'm going to open this up for any other questions about the smartphone, or maybe any other questions about technology in general, if you have them. Yes?
I don't know how to use the camera on my phone.
Okay.
I have no idea.
All right. So do we want to do a quick selfie lesson? All right. So this is what we'll do. So let's bring this up real quick. I'm going to open up my phone.